So welcome to session 4 of 5 for Hearts of Wulin, which is a PbtA mishmash hack here to do sort of Wulin romances, wushu romances. This is a game that is sort of still in development that eventually we hope to kickstart. This session is part of the Gauntlet Hangouts, which is an online gaming community. You can find out more about that at gauntlet-rpg.com. And we have a blog there. We have multiple podcasts, including Plus One Forward, which is a podcast about PbtA games, as well as a number of other things. So you can check that out. And if you're interested in online gaming, you can go and see what we've got there on the calendar. We've got well over 100 games on the calendar for January right now. But we are playing Hearts of Wulin. We are deep in the throes of this. This is a game that has gone on. This particular campaign has gone through 3 arcs. We are in the 3rd arc, the 3rd book of a trilogy, and we're sort of towards the late middle of that trilogy. And we're going to see what's going to happen because, when you get to the end of the series, then, people start dying, dropping off. So we're going to find out about that. But we're going to take up with that today. This is a game that uses safety tools. So you may see us use the X card. May you see us talk about the X card. If so, that's us using a safety tool to move past particular content there. So we're going to start with some mechanical bits, and we're going to look here, and I want to check in and see if anybody got an advance last time, and we need to figure out what moves that they've added or what additions they've made. Sherry?
I did not get, well, I got an advance, but I just brought one of my my stats, my chi up.
Okay. All right. Did anybody else get an advance?
Yeah, I got an advance. I'm still a little bit. No, I'm going to go for the more fun one.
Okay.
I was just going to take a stat up, but I think I'm instead going to take the Face to Fate move, which looks quite fun.
And what is that one again? Remind me.
That one allows me at the beginning of each session. I roll 2d6 without adding anything to it. If I get a if I get a fail, if I get a 6-, I mark XP as normal. And at some point, the GM can make a move on the basis of that outcome. If I get a 7 up, I get to make a note of that dice roll, and at some point during play, I can replace either mine or an ally's roll with that number.
It's a nice one. I saw someone roll boxcars with that, and
I hope to carry on that proud tradition.
Yeah. They had it hanging over me the whole time, the whole session. Bastards going into the hedge, and anyway, so that was a changing PbtA game. Okay, and one of the things I do want to say is, there is a typo in that thing. It functions as it is, but the typo ought to be that you get to mark XP. That it's a cut and paste thing because you don't normally mark XP on a fail, but that one allows you to. So it is XP bonus.
That's a good point. Yes, so I forgot that was wasn't the normal case of things in this game.
Yeah, and Agatha was nice enough to catch that when in her playtesting, so I appreciate that. So it looks like then we're otherwise set. So let's look at entanglements and see if anybody wants to revise entanglements, change them, or change what they have their highlighting set on. Rich, I'm going to go from right to left here. So let's look at Zheng Wen. Okay. Are you happy with your entanglements? Do you want to make any changes to those?
So I am so sorry, but I know that there was in last week's session, there was this revelation near the end, and for some reason my brain's just a little addled, that Sedate Rao had said, hey, I'm going to marry Whip Hand and don't meddle in it. And then I, of course, convinced my new pupil, who I didn't realize is actually my pupil, Passing Cloud to go with me, and we were going to take down Whip and Shang. And then there was a reveal of why he was keeping that from me, and I can't remember it. Do you remember? And I looked in the summary, and I didn't have a chance to go back and.
My big memory of the revelation at the end of the session is the whole evil twin crossing paths thing.
Okay, so there, because for some reason my brain was remembering that there was a reveal of this is the reason why Whip and Shang has to be married into the clan, and he has to go forward with it. If I'm just misremembering it, that's totally fine.
No, I don't remember that. Sherry's usually pretty up on catching those things. Do you remember anything like that?
No. But you know what? I was incredibly self-absorbed. It's Patrick who pays attention to those things.
Oh, God, why put that on me? I do remember there being something about he knew what she was and he was marrying her anyway.
Yeah,
well, right. The revelation is Whip and Shang said to him that we don't have to worry about Zhang because of what I've done to Nine Blossoms. That clearly Whip and Shang had some mechanism or some machination in play that if Zhang got involved, Nine Blossoms would suffer.
That's it. I knew there was like a thing, because there was in my mind a trip of like, oh, this is why Sedate Rao was trying to warn me off of going out. He probably is aware that Whip Hand had this thing because
it was poison, wasn't it?
Yes, the suggestion is that Whip and Shang has been poisoning Nine Blossoms.
What is up with these guys and their poisons? It's terrible. Why? Why all the poisons?
Yeah, they're all venoms.
So we can't keep it simple and just throw scorpions at people.
But scorpions have poison, so you get the best of both worlds.
I'd like to tweak that entanglement, because it's I swore to Sedate Rao that I would protect Night Sky Ming, but they would be offended if they knew. Like, Zing no longer cares about that. Zing really wants to save Nine Blossoms from Whip Hand Shang, and I'm not sure how to word that yet because it's just now like you guys are reminding me of the thing. But that's generally where I'd like to go. Does that work?
Yeah. So who do you think is interfering with that? I mean, obviously we know that Whip Hand is sort of a villain. Is there anyone else who's kind of getting in the way of that, do you think?
I think Sedate Rao would get in the way of that because he wants to just keep things peaceful. In fact, he may have a nefarious reason of keeping her close to learn information about her clan and their entanglements. But I no longer care about that because I want him to be with Night Sky Ming, and Nine Blossoms is for me. So
maybe it's that you're going to force Sedate Rao to tell the truth about this?
Oh. Well, if he tells the truth, that's just going to put Nine Blossoms in further danger. I need to surreptitiously stop Whip and Shang in a way that saves Nine Blossoms from being poisoned. I just don't know how to work that within the Hearts of Wulin style. I'm sorry I'm taking up so much time.
No, that's okay, because I think it's an interesting thing to look at. Let me do the others and let me come back to you. Okay. Shard Saber, tell me about you and your entanglements. Are you good with those? Do you want to change any of those?
So I thought I was good with them, and then Rich talked for like a long time, and I had time to think. I think actually my romantic one I want to evolve in some way.
Okay.
Probably leaving out Dustcloak Spider and making it about Passing Cloud and the Devil Crone representing the 100 Ghosts. I think Dustcloak Spider is definitely still probably wants to kill me. Like I'm not saying that part's over. It's just
So is it that because that now you have to hide this alliance with the 100 Ghosts from Passing Cloud?
Yeah, it's that like part of me still believes in the vision of Passing Cloud and the Yoon clan, but part of me has given up on that, and all of me has actually sworn to the 100 Ghosts. And there's this ghost thing. It's complicated. I'm not quite sure how to word it.
Actually, I think part of me believes in Passing Cloud and the ideals of the Yoon clan, but part of me is attached to their rivals, the 100 Ghosts. I think that's a fair way to do that.
And is it all right that this is slowly like edging more and more out of a romantic entanglement? It's still like an emotional and love-based entanglement. It's just not very romantic anymore, I don't think. It's more about that loyalty and belief.
Well, how do you feel about that? Do you want to lean more into the romantic, or are you comfortable with that?
I mean, I'm comfortable with where it's going. I think I got a lot of Lan's like romantic storylines out with Tian. So I don't necessarily still need to like end up in a long-term relationship with Passing Cloud. I think it would still be fun to kiss his pretty face a little bit, but
yeah. As long as there's some emotional attachment that feels, how do I put this, less the sort of high honor heroic, that is an emotional attachment with some depth to it, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I definitely think he embodies like the dreams and hopes I've had about the future of my life for years now, and it's a similar slot. I just wanted to make sure that it's okay that it's like edging off of that romantic center.
No, I think that's really good, and that actually is. I'm writing that down because I think that's a really interesting detail to think about in terms of writing up what these entanglements mean for people and what romance means. So I appreciate that. So that seems good to me.
Cool.
And which one are you going to highlight then?
Yeah, let's go with that one. I think it would be interesting to have some like conflicting, competing pull from the 100 Ghosts or Devil Crone or new responsibilities, that sort of thing.
Absolutely. Good fodder for hard moves. Night Sky Ming, what about you?
Well, let's see here. Right now, I still love Sedate Rao, but they're engaged to the villainous Whip Hand Shang. I think that one stands. That is a great tragedy for me. The other one is my master Iron-Faced Lou hates. It used to be Passing Cloud, and I didn't know why. Now I realize it's that he hates Dust-Cloaked Spider, but has mistaken Passing Cloud as his nefarious twin. Now, I could clear this up by talking to him, but I think that would be completely out of genre. So I'm uncertain if I should keep that as a thing, because that's almost me willfully keeping that problem there. This is a thing. Sherry, the problem solver, is like appalled by that. So.
Another one you built is that you want to destroy, kill, deal with Dustcloak Spider, but Passing Cloud is not going to let you.
Okay. Well, yes. All right.
Right? I mean, that's another way to think about it, because we already sort of hit on that last time.
All right. I suspect Dustcloak Spider cannot be redeemed. Cannot be redeemed, but I will have to go through. No, but Passing Cloud. Still hopes to save him. That will be very sad, and I will save that for the last.
Okay.
So, okay.
That seems good. And which one of those two do you want to highlight?
I think to PbtA, everything, man, they're both awesome. I think, though, I'm going to go with the Sedate Rao one because I really think, unless everything goes crazy times, the Dustcloak Spider one will actually be the ultimate one for the end session.
We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Which brings us to Passing Cloud. Passing Cloud, you had so much happen that hit on your key elements. Are you still happy with your entanglements, or you want to make any changes?
I think so. My romantic entanglement is that I love Zheng Wen, but my teacher Auntie Silver killed his teacher Peerless Falcon, who he held dear. I think that the tenor of that is probably still going to be the same, but I suspect now that the fact that I am sympathetic to Dustcloak Spider is probably a bigger factor in the distrust there at this point than the whole Auntie Silver thing, especially as well because I have now officially distanced myself from Auntie Silver. So I think it's still basically the same broad strokes entanglement, and it's still sort of about my feelings for Zheng Wen and his maybe slight distrust of me, but for more,
I will make sure that it gets fully revealed to him today that your master, Auntie Silver, did villainously kill, by some people believe, Peerless Falcon, because I think that's been an open question. So I will make sure that info gets into Zheng Wen's hands today.
Sure thing. The second one is that I suspect Shad Saber Lan of evil, but Night Sky Ming, who I respect, believes in them. So I think that one's out the window at this point.
Yep.
I think, again, I'm probably going to stick to the... I think I'm probably going to kind of go with that same sort of dynamic still, but I think it's obviously been very much turned now in that, ironically, I don't particularly suspect Shad Saber Lan of evil now, despite him having joined the 100 Ghosts. But but I think the opposite is probably not true so much anymore.
So you suspect Dustcloak Spider of good?
Yeah.
But Guy Ming, who I respect, does not believe in them?
Yeah, that works, actually.
That's a wonderful complete flip of that.
That's so good.
I might actually go so far as to say Night Sky Ming and Shad Saber, who I respect, believes in them, because I feel that also represents the fact that I think I have kind of reconciled myself to Shad Saber Lan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I suspect Dustcloak Spider of evil or good?
Oh yes, sorry, I just didn't change that in the and actually flipped around the.
Yeah, and which one do you want to highlight?
I think it probably. I think it will probably be the Dustcloak Spider one. That feels more pressing from my point of view at the minute.
That seems good. Rich, can we come back to you?
Of course you can. I wrote down, I will protect 9 Blossoms from Whip Hand Shang's threat, despite the wishes of my friend Sedate Rao.
Okay, that sounds good. That's a good way to phrase that.
And I will not highlight that one. No, I'm joking. I totally going to highlight that one.
All right. So where we left off last time, we spoke about the revelations about Whip Hand Shang's interactions with 9 Blossoms. We spoke about Dustcloak Spider, disguising himself and then not disguising himself, and then revelations and attacks. And we also mentioned in passing here that Shardsaber Lan gave his duty over to the 100 Ghosts and got tangled up in that. And there were various questions on that. Of course, the mistaken identity from Night Sky Ming, but we ended with Dustcloak Spider pushing some of the group back. Night Sky Ming and Shardsaber and Zhang getting ready to go after him, but Passing Cloud, trying to talk his brother down and being able to reach him in his mind, being able to reach him a little and seeing that there might be something there. And his brother taking off and essentially Passing Cloud kind of letting him go. And in that final scene, we saw the 3 injured characters gathering themselves to go and deal with that, and Passing Cloud heading in his own direction. And that is where we're going to start today. And I do think we need to come in and figure out, Passing Cloud, where would you go? Who would you talk to? What would you do?
So I think the first thing that Passing Cloud will do, just as a sort of, he will sort of return to his inn room, gather up his belongings. He's going to sort of do the, not do like the full shaved head, but just sort of shave off his forelocks and just tie the rest of his hair back into a straight queue sort of thing. Put on some more kind of hard spun clothes. Looks a lot more indistinct. And he is actually, his first stop, I think, is going to be continuing the work that Shardsaber Lan started. He's going to try and sort of track down these Yin family shrines that might have some secret teachings in that, in his mind will help him to connect with his brother and convince him to come back to sort of the, if not righteous, at least not overtly corrupting path that he's currently on.
Then that seems like that great. We see you do that disguise. You're not disguising yourself as a specific person, so yeah, the disguise definitely works. Even if it did, you have the great ability to do that. So I think we see a study move from you.
Sure thing.
One of the great things about these movies and these series is parallel time things don't matter. We don't clock anybody. Somebody could go and do something that it looks like it would take them a week, but in movie time, they're gone, 15 minutes. So
yep. Actually, I just thought I will roll my face to fate first.
Oh yeah, that's right.
See how that goes. That's a 9, so I will make a note of that. And yeah, now for the study move. I think wood probably for this. Patience and curiosity seems like an appropriate.
Absolutely.
Oh, and that's another 9, so that's a 10 in total.
So that is a 10 in total. Plus, with your ability, I believe you get an additional study question, right?
That's correct, yeah.
So you can do declarations, you can check scale, you can ask questions. What do you want?
Yeah, so I think the first one that I'm going to make a declaration, which is that I will find one of the hidden Yin Clan shrines.
Somewhere outside of town.
There's
another location hidden away. There have been some things they said about Jade Saber Lan's master, and you follow up on that. the murderer who had been around you, like, well, maybe he had a place here, maybe he had found something, and maybe that's what you locate is a hidden, like, cavern with, that you walk down into. You always walk down the little side and come down into it. It's the same set, it's just been redressed. And there are decorations of the Yun clan there.
Yep. And I think I'm going to ask what. So yeah, my second question, second thing is going to be to ask what is hidden there that would be useful to me.
I think that you will find hidden away here a manual that describes the way to overcome the Jade Saber style, to gain scale on your brother and potentially on your friend Shard Saber.
Cool. And obviously the third question I have to ask, I believe I'm contractually bound, is what danger lies between me and the manual?
Oh, I think that there are a series of traps that you will note that you're going to, when we come back to you, I'm going to have you give us a montage on the traps and how you get through them, and then we'll make a kind of a face danger roll. Does that sound fair?
That sounds cool. Yeah.
Okay. So we see that, and of course, classic House of Traps things. We can see that there are iron Buddhas. We can see that there are little clamp things with fire. There's all kinds of craziness, and we'll come back to you on that. But meanwhile, we'll cut back to town with this very grumpy physician who is once more treating your wounds, who is looking at you, Night Sky and Shard Saber, and saying and going, most people come to town to relax, to enjoy themselves, but you three, you continue to engage in these activities. You're young people. You should be out singing songs and wooing lovers. Why do you fight like this?
Can't carry a tune.
You are a doctor. You're meant to be healing and bandaging and making things hurt and drip less. Why are you talking like this?
Because you have to sit here for a while and listen to me. That is the cost of this. Shall I tell you about how well my granddaughter is doing in school? I could do that for a while.
Fine, complain.
And he will go through and he does the herbs, and he mixes that up, and he makes you drink it, and he instructs you very carefully all that you are not to drink any water for 1 hour after this, or the medicine will not work. All of those kinds of admonitions that if that were a plot point, you would then immediately go out in the rain or something. But he will do that, and all of you can heal 1 of your chi. Unless you don't want to, unless you want to keep yourself injured. Zhang, you kind of came a little bit late on this, and you were walking around with Passing Cloud. And Passing Cloud was, you kind of bonded with him during that time, right?
It's true.
And now there's this rift. What's your take on that?
It's possible that there's a misunderstanding, but it's likely that he was only trying to gain my favor to betray me. It's likely betrayal.
Yeah, well, then anything he told you is suspect, right?
It's true. It's true. Everything could be a lie. And he knows the truth about Whip-Pan Shang.
Maybe there's more that he didn't tell you.
Now that I'm feeling better, I need to run out into the rain and hunt him down.
Okay. So are you going to take leave of your companions, or are you going to speak with them about these things?
Friends, I believe that I have been betrayed. Passing Cloud came to me wishing to learn about a great many things, and he even appeared to aid me against Whip-Pan Shang, but now find his motives and his actions suspect. I believe that perhaps he may be in league with Whip-Pan Shang. I have no evidence except for my gut. It has never led me wrong.
And I think you do see Night Sky Mingo. She goes, I am almost certain that he wasn't innocent. And she sort of stops and goes, I do think that his twin was evil. And truthfully, when I saw the two of them, I could not tell them the difference between them.
Passing Cloud is no innocent. Naive, certainly.
Ah, all right.
Perhaps even dangerously stupid. But innocent, no. He knew what his brother was. He knew what he was doing. Just refused to acknowledge that it was wrong.
Ah, good. Then I should kill him.
What?
If hiding evil, therefore that is evil. We should, if you wish to come along, you are welcome.
But I didn't say, I wasn't meaning kill.
So give him a good talking to?
Perhaps punch him a little.
I will start with the punching.
So
we shall see.
Zheng, did you say hiding evil is still evil? Is that what I heard you say?
That is absolutely what I said. And I believe it with all of my heart.
Absolutely. Shartsaber, by the way, have you told them about your new employment?
I'm sorry, what now?
Okay, just checking.
I don't see how that relates to this particular conversation. People have a lot on their mind, and they don't really need to. It's evil. This isn't evil.
It's a difference between hiding evil and being forgetful to mention evil.
You keep using this evil word.
Let me ask you. I don't necessarily think this rises to the level of inner conflict, but I do think we are putting the pot on the stove for that. Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. The first time that they have mentioned that, so we'll keep that in mind.
And I will stop and say, Shartsaber Lawn, many times I have rebuked others for believing the worst of you. And she sort of stops and goes, in this, I must disagree with you about Passing Cloud.
Okay, see, now that's an inner conflict.
It is.
I really want to argue with you and listen to your point of view, and you said like all of the names on my entanglements list.
All right. What do you want to roll with that, Patrick?
Oh, whoopsie.
And you cleared a chi, right?
I did.
Okay.
It just doesn't look like I did.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize how badly injured you were.
Yeah, this conversation is definitely testing my patience, which I don't have much of.
That's right.
That's a 3.
Oh man.
That is a 3. Well, the good news is that I get a hard move. So
Oh, how delightful.
Hey, that's not how that goes, lol.
I know. So I think you 3 are there in the doctor's office, and you're like, we have to deal with this, and the door gets kicked in, and you will see standing there in the doorway in his sort of full finery and preparation, his staff of office out and multiple city guards behind him. You see Magistrate Bao, and he says, "You're all under arrest. Surrender now, villains."
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, no.
Exactly. We all scatter.
So you also have to mark Chi, Patrick.
Oh, oh man.
What's left, fire or wood?
Yep. Well, he has to mark wood. The good news is that
yeah.
he has to, since that's the one he rolled with.
Well, no decision point there.
I think actually, given the situation, I'm going to mark wounded. I think a couple of these guards get a lick in on me as I leave.
Okay, so like, yeah, and Bao is there, and his people are on you, and you're fighting it back before you can kind of even react. So let me ask you, because he has been your nemesis repeatedly, what do you do, Night Sky? He's got a couple of groups of guards with him. He's here, coming to take your friends. He's wounded. Shard Saber, what do you do?
What does Shard Saber do? Or what?
No, what do you do, Pat? Nice
Okay.
guy.
Oh, well, here's the thing is I always would like to have my reckoning with Magistrate Bao, but once again, Shard Saber Lan has caused a huge amount of complication, and instead of being able to do what I want to, I have to get him to safety. So I do.
Okay.
All right.
So
and that is, yeah.
That's, I think that's going to be overcome. You want to grab him and do that under pressure, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Then let us have you roll. What do you want to roll with?
I'm gonna, it's a complicated situation. So I'm thinking that this is where she's going to be super precise, if that makes any sense. That it's like she gets in there and all she's doing is little strikes to the guard's hands and getting her arm around or getting her hand around his collar to get him led, and because he's in bad shape.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Let's have you roll with that.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with, I guess, Earth is the best match to that precision.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me.
Earth by accident.
Yeah. Gonna mess up everything here. Okay, here we go. So that gives me an 8.
That is an 8. Well, I tell you what, why don't you leave that checkbox on your Earth?
Okay.
And it is that you grab, and you do have to fight away a few that are close by.
Mm-hmm.
But describe to me what it looks like, because you, of course, have that Storm Rider ability. So what do we see on screen when you do get a hold of Lon?
I think that, yeah, that is exactly it. Is once I get a hold of him, it is, say, there's, she gets a hold of him. She knocks the guards back into the doorway. It knocks the door open, and they shoot through. And essentially, you can see her like across the. It's like one of those things where there's like a courtyard, and she flips them through, and she's on the other side of the courtyard with Lon, and her eyes are really wide, and there is like, they're just by a gate where they can step into where all the festivities are going to. So
Perfect.
They're right there at that gateway.
Absolutely.
And you can see all the lamps.
Lon must be worse than you thought, because when you do grab him and take him, his hands, his skin are surprisingly cold.
Oh. All right.
Must be an imbalance of chi. And so, yeah, thoughts. Zhang, Magistrate Bao is there. There are multiple guards around. Your Night Sky grabs Lon to get him out of there. What do you want to do?
I will make sure and get in the way so Night Sky Ming can leave with this beleaguered, obviously innocent, close personal friend of mine who hides nothing from me. Like
True,
that,
true.
like unlike passing cloud.
Yes,
So,
yes, very different.
very different. So yeah, I will get in the way, and because I'm confident these are just Magistrate Bao's guards. You know.
Do you want to face Magistrate Bao himself, or do you want to work?
Oh
your way
yes,
down?
he called me a villain, so I think he needs to be beaten down a little bit. I won't kill him because he thinks he's doing the right thing, but called me a villain. Hello.
Absolutely. So, Rich, when you fight someone above your scale,
This is great. I love it.
roll.
All right. Above your scale, you lose the conflict on a hit. You may declare how you lose. All right, here we go. I think I'm going with fire. My element.
Yeah, you have to roll your style element for any of those duels. So, yeah,
sorry,
you're all good.
Sorry. All right, cool. I didn't even know that was a decision point that I didn't need to make a decision on. I have rolled a 10, which means full success in how I fail.
So you get to describe, because one of the things is you go in at him, and at first he does that kind of bumbling fallback, but when he does, he manages to get out of the way, and then you continue to fight him, and he is doing that thing where he is cloaking his style, he is cloaking his skill, and you will recognize some elements that you've seen before from the various styles and such of the Frost Queen and these other people that clearly someone has taught him. And tell me how you win out from under this. Like, how do you get out?
I think I force him out into a courtyard outside of the area, and I'm drawing enough attention that a lot of the guards are befuddled and dealing with Night Sky Ming and good honorable friend Charze Werlan. And then when we get into the courtyard, I think like I lose, right? I don't defeat him. So I think it's a point where I realize, hey, this guy's hiding something.
Mm-hmm.
And we're now in a public space in the rain. So it would be a bad idea for me to get shown up. So I just kind of cut my losses. Haha, my friends got away, and I take off.
Let me ask you this. I like that 10 plus. I'm going to give you something as a GM Benny with that great role here facing this person. Do you think that in the fight you reveal to his guards that there's something more about him, or do you learn something about Magistrate Bao?
Oh, I don't really care about guards, so I want to learn something about Magistrate Bao.
There is that last moment where you go and you get that hit at Magistrate Bao to kind of drive them back, and they pull back not because of your blow, but because you kind of hit them near their face, and you see them, their fake mustache has come loose, and you realize that it's a woman, and then she pushes it back into place.
That's awesome.
And
I think that's how I lose. Like,
yes.
What?
Okay. We even realize it's a different actress, in the place of that, and then it comes back and it's a different actor. So
Nice. I was going to say that's not a very womanly dude, but yeah, that's perfect. I love it. That's great makeup. Good job.
And you will take off. So, passing cloud, what is the name of these chambers? What is the name of this trap here that you have to pass through?
So I think it's the 9 Steps to Hell is the name, and it is your sort of classic, almost like 36 chambers of the Shaolin style. You know, there's the bit where you have to kind of bounce across the sort of floating logs in a sort of cave stream. There's you know, you said, yeah, the sort of iron Buddhas that kind of fire improbable lasers from the eyes, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and when you land on those little stand things, you can't stay too long, because if you do, then it goes and something fires out. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. What do you think is the appropriate chi for making it past these traps?
So I think I'm actually going to go for water here, both because it's awareness and flexibility, and also because it is my style thing. And this is definitely one of those, like, it's like that sort of halfway between being traps and being sort of training, you know, to test that you're a skilled enough warrior to learn the sort of hidden secrets. So that seems appropriate. Ooh, I've only rolled a 6, which would give me an 8.
That is an 8. So I think that the cost is going to be that you're going to have to mark that chi, but you're going to get there.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
What is it that happens? What is the like the one trap that injures you? And you can mark wounded instead of that chi if you want. That's also an option.
No, I think for the moment I'll lose that chi. It kind of feels appropriate that it's kind of taxed my my sort of martial arts
right.
For this. So I think the yeah, I think the final test is actually going to be like fighting a sort of Wing Chun style training dummy that has sort of mirrors embedded all over it. And I think at a sort of a vital moment, I hesitate slightly, and it catches me sort of a strong hit across the face with one of its limbs.
Is the vital moment when you see the mirror on the dummy's face catches your own image?
Exactly. Yep.
Awesome. And we see, we get that flashback moment of you facing your brother before you take that hit. And then you will stagger and you will get the manual. And we see you looking through it, and we see that you know the styles. We see flashbacks to the people fighting before. That's all there. So with this in hand, injured though you are, with this in hand, where would you go from here? Do you want to study this?
Yeah, I think he will, and I think he probably will actually study it here rather than leave, because it seems like the appropriate place to do it, sort of thing. Yeah,
absolutely. So I'm actually going to have you roll new technique with a +2.
Sure thing. So just. Ooh, I've only rolled a 4 there, but I think I might sub in the 9 I rolled on the Face to Fate.
Perfect. So that will give you what then?
That would give me an 11 in total.
What is the thing we see, the movement or the motion or the strike that is the sort of the key point of this?
So I think what we learn is obviously his technique is based around using the Jade Saber, which is obviously a powerful weapon. But like all Jade, despite being strong, it's also quite fragile, so it's vulnerable to sort of people coming at the side, and that's a way of both shattering the sword and shattering the style, is to avoid coming at them head on, and instead to focus on coming at them sort of obliquely.
Excellent, excellent. Yes, and so you will study that, put that together, and we'll cut away from you having learned this here in Stormcloud's shrine and gotten this together. So I'm going to cut from you back to Lon and Night Sky, having faded into the crowd, having vanished there. Where are we going to see you now?
I think that she is concerned that he's so cold, and she's like, "You have to go someplace safe." The only place I can think of is to go see my master. And she sort of looks at him. She goes, "I know you don't trust Iron Face Lou, but he has been only kind and honorable to me."
No, I trust you, and Lou has proven himself several times for us. Please.
Okay. She goes, "Why are you so cold?" And she'll kind of touch your cheek and hurry away through the rain with you.
I think as you say that, like, reach up and touch his cheek, he gives sort of like a shudder and a pull back, not really realizing that he was particularly cold.
And we will see the two of you arrive again at Lou's shop. You kind of come in, bustle through the door. His assistant kind of goes and shouts for him, and Lou comes out, and he's like, "I'm deeply concerned and gravely upset. How are you?"
And she sort of goes, "Lon is in terrible shape," and she sets him down. She's not in great shape herself, but nothing like Lon.
Come out into the other room so that I might have room to work.
Right. She'll lead him in.
And you will see him go over and brew some nasty-looking elixirs, and gathers those things together, and he will bring one over for you there, Night Sky, for you to drink. This will help you recover. And he will come over to you, Shard Saber, and he makes to hand you the cup, and kind of touches your hand as he does that, and he says, "What have you done?"
I have been injured in the process of doing what was necessary.
And you'll see him, he hands you the cup, and like you actually see him start to tear up a little. "Drink this. It will heal what I can heal of you."
I think his hand is like shaking as he drinks the tea. It's obviously the blood loss.
Obviously. Where are the rest of your companions?
And she stops and she goes, "Passing Cloud has left. He still believes that his twin brother can be redeemed." And she sort of stops and goes,
He has a twin?
An identical twin who has been plotting against us with Whip-Hand Shang.
And that he knew about and has been keeping secret from us the entire time.
And she sort of stops and goes, "All of these villains were trained by the Frozen Queen. A Coral Lantern and Whip-Hand Shang, they've all learned that style. And they're expecting us." And she sort of stops and goes, "This whole marriage functions as much as a trap as anything else. We shouldn't go close."
whip-hand shing is a distraction into nothing. Oh shoot, what's her name? Winter Lady, Frost Queen.
Frost Queen?
The Frost Queen style is dangerous, but it's nothing as compared to the Stormcloud Assassin style, to the dark side of the Yun. Duskcloak Spider is a danger to everyone in this city, everyone in this land, if he revives that style. Even the barest hint of it coming back into existence would be disastrous.
You mean like your style?
I have worked very hard to evolve my style out of that dark pit and into the light path of the Yun. It's a nearly impossible temptation to work yourself out of.
So you do not believe that the spider can be changed?
The spider is a master of that style. He's been immersing himself in it for years, who knows how long. There's no coming back from that.
So you say. What will you two do now?
And she really pauses and she goes, I can't put anyone in danger.
You two should leave. You should go. Take yourselves and go far away from the city. Go some other place. Begin again. Train others. Find new lives for yourself. Here, in this city, there is only darkness and death that awaits you.
No. And he turns to Night Sky. You can't listen to him. There's too much danger to the people of this city, and they know nothing of it. And if Duskcloak Spider is allowed to establish himself and ruin whatever is left of the name of the Yun clan, we will lose all hope of ever being able to bring them back into the light. All men will see that the Yun are nothing but dirt and evil.
And she sort of stands up and she looks at you and goes, I don't agree with your reasons. And she goes, and I know so well the good things about this city that it breaks my heart to leave it as a hostage. I don't understand why Jade Cloud has risen to such power.
You mean Coral Lantern?
Oh, sorry. Coral
Okay.
Lantern.
I
Sorry.
sorry.
I don't know why I said Jade Lantern.
Because I suspect there is someone else behind her.
Night Sky, you know that we can't leave. You know that we can't just let this all come to pass.
And then she looks at it, and I think she goes, or we can leave, or at least be seen leaving. That will be something of a stand down.
Maybe from the shadows we could gain the upper hand on them.
Though they're masters of shadow themselves. And she sort of turns to Master Lu and she goes, you're right. We must leave. And there will be a new life after this. But I still need to understand what's going on. And she'll sit down next to Yulon and she'll go, "When will you be ready to travel?"
Ironface Lou, can you arrange a cart for us? Something that a crippled invalid who can't even ride a horse would be taken out in?
Certainly.
Perfect.
And you can both clear chi through his interventions or wounded. And he will go to prepare for you to make your next move.
Okay.
And let's come back to Zhang. Well, that was something. Magistrate Bao, a woman?
It's true. She was so beautiful. Who would have expected?
What do you want to do?
Passing Cloud. I have to find Passing Cloud now. So much is at stake.
Do you want to make a study for that?
I think I should.
Okay.
I think I shall rely upon my control and my calculation. I have rolled a 4. Plus 2 is a 6.
Is a 6 there. And I don't think you have any bonds to burn, do you?
I mean...
Oh, you do the bond with Passing Cloud.
I will burn the bond with Passing Cloud.
So let me ask Passing Cloud this first. Passing Cloud, are you okay with him finding you?
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's
okay,
cool.
I just want to make sure on that. Then,
yeah, no, that's cool.
Because he says yes, and he's thinking, I'll also give you a question, Rich.
Okay.
Something you can find out on the way. What would you like to know, Zhang?
Are there any other pieces of evidence of Passing Cloud's villainy that I find while trying to search him down?
I think, in fact, you will probably go to his the rooms that are there. You know, the ones that Night Sky Ming found him, Dustcloak Spider in, right?
Of course.
But the thing that will strike you is that there's evidence there, but it looks like it was being planted. Like someone was there to put this evidence and they didn't get a chance to. It's like bundled up, you know, things, letters and things like that, bundled up like they were going to be put here to implicate Passing Cloud. And it's very confusing for you. You like things a little more straight.
If only Nice Guy Ming had escaped with me. She's good at these mysteries. I'm best at bringing an end to them.
Passing Cloud, where does Zhang find you?
I think it depends what you find more interesting, but I think possibly either outside the city coming back from the shrine, or maybe even at the shrine itself, or within the city again, in which case Passing Cloud will actually be heading towards the seedier side of town again.
Like maybe just after you've left the shrine and he comes upon you in a place it's weird that you would be here, kind of thing?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Zheng, you find Passing Cloud just outside the city. Why was he here at this weird, abandoned site?
Passing Cloud.
Zheng Wen, I was not expecting to see you.
Is that because you were hiding from me?
No, I was... This place was one of the Yun family shrines. I came here in search of answers.
That's why I've found you, and I'm searching for answers as well. You've played me a fool, Passing Cloud. I trusted you.
I have never wanted to hurt you, Chengwen. The thought is furthest possible from my heart.
Speaking of the heart is the first tactic of a temptress.
Oh, Jing is calling you out. This Passing Cloud, Jing is just right to the heart there.
Yeah, I think that's probably some inner conflict going on there.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go with Earth on this, trying to keep focused rather than let his words sting.
Absolutely.
That's a 3. So no, that's
So mark Earth. And what do you do? How do you overreact, or how do you run from this? I mean, what goes wrong here? Does it anger you? Or do you just flee?
I think actually, yeah, and I think particularly because of the whole tempter thing. I think that Passing Cloud sort of does that thing of like, it looks like he's about to sort of say something, but just breaks down in tears and runs off, sobbing.
What do you do, Zhang? Do you follow?
Yeah, not really used to these kind of emotions. I think I have to follow, because what if he runs away to do more? If this is obviously a trick, I will follow.
Okay. Then I
find him.
Pardon?
Do I find him?
Let me think for a second. I think it's worse for Passing Cloud if you don't find him. So I don't think you do. I think he vanishes back into the city, clearly calculated escape from you. Perhaps that was some sort of stratagem to put
another
you
emotional manipulation, obviously.
Exactly.
Can't trust twins.
I think this is a good point for us to take our break. And when we come back, we will check in with Passing Cloud and then come back to the cart bearers. And we'll be right there. So take 5. Yeah, lots of evil twins.
We're all evil twins.
Interesting. Sherry shakes her head no. Had some great like Monster Hearts level conflicts in City of Mist, oddly enough, on Thursday. It was really good.
Nice.
And in fact, a couple of the things that City of Mist has as some of the features, this tension between being a human or being a mythic, came into play in a way that was interesting. It was nice to see some of that tech come out.
Is any of it getting smoother, or are any of the problematic mechanics starting to become like, oh, I could probably just cut this out wholesale? Anything like that coming through?
I think it would take so much work to rework City of Mist into a workable thing. There's a lot of really good ideas. It got smoother the more we ignored the rules. Is always one of those things where we let scenes play out as interaction scenes and didn't go to mechanical things. There was one bit where we used it where we were able to abstract it, and Louise was able to get a really good victory, over his domineering mother. That was Gossip Girl level awesome. So it's fun.
Gotcha.
Passing Cloud, you have you've triumphed, right? You triumphed, and you went and you found this manual that will help you overcome, maybe be able to convince your brother, and so on, and maybe convince your friends. And yet, before you could even talk to Zhang about that, he speaks. I mean, you burnt that bridge and you've run off. Where do you go?
Well, I'm looking at the chi I've currently got marked up, and there's sort of conditions for those, and I'm seeing obsessive, reckless, alienating, isolated, depressed. So I think it's clear that what's called for is a grand romantic endeavor here. So what I want to do is to try and track down Dancing Centipede, and with the ultimate goal of finding out what it is that they've done to Nine Blossoms.
All right. I think I want that as an overcome to see if there's some cost to you doing that.
Sure thing. So I will go with wood on that, I think, on the basis that it's, again, sort of patience and curiosity, and it's one of the few chi that I still have unmarked. So
okay.
That's a total of 7.
Okay.
I do have a bond on Dancing Centipede, but that'd only bring it up to a 9. So
right, so you're fine. And don't forget, you get a study question in this scene, so let's make sure we have the opportunity to do that. And of course, so you'll find Dancing Centipede, and she assumes, of course, that you are a spider, and she's like, "What happened to you?"
It's been a troubling day. I have doubts as to my course of action. And
what do you mean?
I am.
She says, "Lay down. I know some healing techniques, and I will help you recover.
Thank you. I'll do as she asks.
Okay. And she will do this many-fingered centipede massage on you. And you can recover a chi.
I will recover my water, perhaps unsurprisingly.
Here is the cost from the 7 to 9 is that as she's doing that, you see her kind of, it's tight, and then she pulls out and she goes, "What is this?" And you see she has the manual that she's pulled out from inside your shirt.
Techniques of the Yun clan.
You found more?
Yes.
She sets it down and she begins to, like, she's going to go through it. Oh, with this, we could overcome Shard Saber so easily.
I do not like what is to happen involving Nine Blossoms in this, in the way we have. It is distasteful. We should have the strength to take on Cheng Wen and his compatriots without the need for such deceptions.
I think that's Hearts and Minds.
Yep. Yeah, again, I think I'm going to go for wood here.
Okay.
Because I'm kind of giving her the time to sort of climate herself, as it were. So I've rolled a 7, which gets me an 8. I think I will burn the bond I have on her to take that to a 10.
Oh, nice. Good call there, because you got that bump on that. Oh yeah. Do you actually want to think this? Do you want to make this Blade Heart?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, we could just slide it over to Blade Heart because I think that actually might be more appropriate. It's a really good call, Patrick. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, that probably does make sense to go for Blade Heart. Yeah, that's cool. So yes,
but I don't want to go against Coral Lantern. She would, this. I mean, I know the slow poisoning of Nine Blossoms over time. I mean, at some point, even the antidote we have won't help with that.
Exactly, which is why we must stop it now. Besides,
she puts her hand in it. She goes, "You and I, we could leave. We could go away together. Take this." She holds up the manual. We could go somewhere and just us.
I must undo what's been done to Nine Blossoms first. I could not allow the murder of a member of the Wulin in such distasteful circumstances. But yes, I have no interest in being a lackey to Coral Lantern. She says, "My future.
Whatever you do, I will follow. If I will help you, I know you have the antidote. I will help you if you wish to deliver it to her."
Thank you.
And then we can go away and be together. I'd give up everything for you.
I hope that we will get that opportunity.
There was a time I doubted, but now that you've declared yourself true to me, I cannot tell you. And she bows. She clearly can't even speak, and she hands you back the manual without even looking further into it, clearly trusting you with all of her heart.
Oh no.
I'm gonna cut away from you. So Iron Face Lou gets you a cart. He gets you, a couple of pack animals there, and he says, "What is it that you need me to do?"
And she sort of says, "Step away from the wedding. Avoid any contact with that, any plans. That's what they're waiting for.
And make sure to spread word of the severity of my wounds and that we are leaving to find someplace quieter to recover."
It will not take much exaggeration to speak of the severity of your wounds.
Are you? I can never. Are you serious? No. It's not fine.
He says, "I will speak to the 100 ghosts about this, and we will spread word across the city."
I appreciate you speaking to the 100 ghosts for us.
He looks at you, and he says, "Be careful." And he will help load you up onto the cart in a way that, shows you wounded and bloodied and so on. And then he will help you, Night Sky Ming, up into the driver's seat. And he looks to you.
We'll be back, but on different terms.
He says, "You are so like your mother." And he's gone.
What?
Wait, did he say?
We need to go.
So this seems to me like a hearts and minds kind of stratagem. Does that seem interesting, or is there something else that we have as a move that you think is appropriate for this?
I was looking through my moves, and I don't have something personal for it now.
Sherry, do you have anything? Oh, you're muted. Take a drink.
My humiliation is complete. I was going to say, I have the imposter, which I think I could use to make it look like that I'm clearly in disguise. Does that make any sense?
Oh, okay.
If that makes any sense.
Well, here's the thing. I think you've worked out a plan, right?
Yes, that is my plan. It's an awesome plan. It's only one step of a plan, but it is a plan.
Let's have you roll Final Master then.
Okay. Let's see here. And okay. I will roll with wood because it's about trying to be patient about this whole thing. Oh, it's terrible. Okay, so that's a 12.
Okay, so you get to hold 3 for your planning.
Okay.
When you do this, you can spend your hold regardless of distance to add +1 forward to a roll, to clear a chi, or to produce needed items.
Okay, so I'm looking at my beloved cousin, brother, whomever, fellow clan member, and he's pretty much riddled with holes. So I think
So in
that's one
fact, is that a disguise, something that you've worked out? He's actually much more healed than we thought?
Yes, because Iron Face Lou is actually very accomplished healer. So yes, this is mostly makeup.
How much hold do you want to spend on that?
Oh my God, he's in such bad shape. How about?
I'm right here. My ears aren't.
And she's like, nope, you're in terrible shape. And so I think I'll give you 2. I expect you to spend them wisely.
So you may clear 2 chi, Shard Saber.
I'm curious how Night Sky Ming does that.
I think it's a disguise that the Iron Face Lou actually healed you much more.
But I
tell
used those wounds and the bloody silk on top of it to make it look like they're actually still there. How's
Nice.
that?
I like it.
And Passing Cloud, the thing that will strike you is that Shard Saber is still chilled, despite all the healing.
Oh, she's like, have you been feeling ill? And she keeps touching your forehead, and then
I have felt something coming on, yes.
Well, then maybe it's a good thing we are leaving. Though traveling in the rain doesn't seem like a good idea.
So
no more planning. We must leave.
So what you want to do is you're getting out of town, and then you want to sneak back in without anyone seeing you.
Exactly.
Okay. So that sounds like overcome.
All right. I will use... Let's see here. I think I'll use water for this.
And you've got 1 hold left from your planning that could give you a +1.
Okay. The hard part.
You want me to roll 2, or is this covering both of us?
I think it covers. Well, you don't have to have both of you roll.
Cool.
Okay, so that gives us a 9, and I could, but I'll spend a 10 just so that the plan goes really well.
Okay. So what do we see on screen? Describe to me, Patrick. What's the first part of this plan? What do we see happen on screen?
So I think it's the slow donkey cart ride out of town with I'm in the back in sort of blankets on hay sort of thing. And I think even a couple of times before we get to the main gate, coincidentally when we're going by a market or at a major thoroughfare or something, she'll have to pull to the side and run back and very worriedly check over my obviously bloody bandages or adjust something like that, and then we get going again, just to give people time to take in the whole situation before we start leaving.
We see some informants that kind of cloaked in the shadows look, and they kind of go to tell someone. Okay. And then you get outside town. What does the sneak in then look like, Sherry?
So essentially, one of the things that we do is, because we've taken torches and put them on the cart, when we get out a further way, we actually hand the cart off to some people from the 100 Ghosts who take it and keep it moving along the road. We step off from that point and essentially think that we will change into, let's see, what seems...
I imagine that on screen, we just see the cart going along, and then we see them ambushed, and then they pull back their cloaks to reveal that they're not you two.
Right.
And they're 100 ghosts, with the ghost face makeup, and they flee off into the night, somewhere down the road. Okay.
All right. Wait. Didn't that mean... Okay, that sounds fine as long as those guards don't come back.
Oh, no.
Okay.
You see how trustworthy and useful the 100 Ghosts have been? I really think Tian showed us that the world is taken. No, but I just wanted to say, because I'm just trying to tell you.
They're clearly criminal underworld types. Come on now. She's
Why are you working with Lou?
What? You don't know what you're talking about.
Seriously?
And we see you Lightfoot over the walls and bound back into the city, back to your paths, your hidden paths that of the city, Night Sky, your ways across there. Let's cut from that with your concealed thing to Zhang. Oh, this day has not gone well.
Not at all. This
What do you
day
want
has
to
gone
do?
terribly. I am unable to find Cloud. I know that my friends got their way free. Perhaps I should just stop all of this mixing around and speak to Whip-Hand Shang directly. Let her know that I am aware of the threat she poses and I will defeat her, stop her.
Go straight to the household of your friend, bust in on their wedding, and threaten Sedate Rao's bride?
When you say it like that, it seems
Seem a little when you
improper.
put it that way.
Seems a tad boorish.
Instead, I think that what I will do is quietly make my way to the wedding that I'm invited to and go in to see the bride and then have a conversation with her and then possibly beat her up.
All right. So you will go, and it is, of course, the night before the wedding. And you will arrive. There are a great number of your fellow members of the liquid metal delegates here, who have, by obligation, have to be here. Bronze Viper, your senior, is here. And you will see that Nine Blossoms is in his entourage. What do you want to do?
So difficult. I think I need to speak to Bronze Viper. Perhaps he can give me advice on how to succeed.
So you will go to speak with Bronze Viper. Nine Blossoms sees you and kind of bows and understands, of course, you want to keep some distance because Bronze Viper doesn't approve of you and her. But
no, but I definitely there's longing eye contact.
And it does look like there's like something she wants to say to you, something she wants to tell you, but there's that distance here. Jing, says Bronze Viper.
Bronze Viper. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you. What is you're here to celebrate your good friend Sedate Rao's wedding?
It is no cause for celebration. Are you aware of the villainy of Whip-Hand Shang?
I understand that there are some rumors. Yes.
She is a threat to Nine Blossoms. I overheard her speaking about her plan to poison Nine Blossoms if we foil her tragedy, her travesty of a wedding here that she attempts to pull.
That is a serious accusation that you are leveling.
It is. Sedate Rao is aware of her villainy. I do not know if he is maintaining this charade for the sake of Nine Blossoms or myself. But he would not have me step in the way of this.
This matter is larger than you or I. It is about the clans at this point.
But what are the clans if not a collection of our allies and our friends and those we care about? Sedate Rao cares for Ming. How can I deny the two of them their heart for this villain?
Let's have you do hearts and minds.
All right.
I want to see if you can convince Bronze Viper to do this.
I'm definitely going for passion here, so we're rolling with fire. I've rolled a 10, and plus 2 makes that a 12.
Then you must make your way to Whiphand Shang and confront her, and I will deal with Sedate Rao. Tell the others to be ready to leave. We will need to flee this place.
Very well. I will tell Nine Blossoms myself.
And he goes, no, I will tell Nine Blossoms.
Very well, Sifu.
And yes, you see him gird his sword, and he goes to tell the other liquid metal delegates that stuff is going to go down, and people are going to die.
I will go to Whiphand Shang.
Okay. We're going to cut from you trying to make your way to Whiphand Shang to Passing Cloud. There you have in tow Dancing Centipede. She is with you. What do you want to do? It is the evening, before the wedding.
Yeah. So, I want to try and track down where my brother has been staying, in the hope that he has conveniently left the antidote lying around, as you do. Yeah, I think that's
let's see what we think that
how I
look here. Well, how about we could do this as a study. If you want to get information and maybe do a declaration, or if you're really just interested in getting the antidote, we could do this as an overcome.
Yeah, the overcome probably makes sense because yeah, all I really want out of this is to just get the antidote.
Absolutely.
See how that
we know what the potential cost is for the 7 to 9.
Yep.
What do you want to roll with?
So I think this is. Do I risk going for metal? No, I think I will stick with wood. It's stood me in fairly decent stead so far with taking a more patient and level-headed approach to things.
Absolutely.
But not this time. That's only a 6.
So I think that you will go to a set of rooms, chambers that have put away. The innkeeper recognizes you. You kind of track back, and you will go up to the rooms, and you're kind of looking around. What is it that you do that tells Dancing Centipede that you are not Spider?
I think obviously the sort of innkeeper waves me through and lets me into the upstairs room, but I go to the wrong door first. I sort of go to one of the rooms, open it, have a look around, and go, "Oh, this doesn't look like his." Move on to the next one.
And you come into that room. You're looking around, and she goes, as you're in there, she goes, "Where is the saber?"
My brother has the saber.
and she throws the centipede at you, which will bite into your neck, and you'll have to mark that chi. And tears are pouring down her face, just streaming. And she's how could, and she can't even speak. And she doesn't attack you any further. She falls back like she's going to run and tell someone.
I am sorry, I had no wish to use your heart against you in this way, but I meant every word I said. What you are doing to Nine Blossoms is against everything the Wulin stands for. I cannot make your path for you, but
all right. I think this is another Blade Heart to convince
Sure.
her to not run off.
I am going to be rolling with metal on this one, so we'll see what happens. Yeah, no, that's a 4 in total.
And she rushes past you, and you see her grab something, and she tears this envelope, and you see the antidote go spraying everywhere. Useless now. There, and she's weeping, and she's making to run. Do you let her go?
Yes, I think at this point I probably will. Or do I try and stop her? I'm just trying to think.
I think at this point you'd have to fight her to stop her.
Yes, I think I will try and stop her, because it would probably be easier to force her to confess what the antidote was than it would be to just try and get it recreated from what I can retrieve.
Then let's have you roll. She is on your scale. You get in her way, bar her from leaving. You see she lifts up her hands, and those centipedes come writhing out onto her hands. Not sure where she was keeping them, some sort of pouches or something. There's kind of, some of them are red and some of them are that shiny black.
That's at least I rolled a 12 in total, so that's starting to go my way again. But yes, I think as she first starts to dash out, I'll once again produce this chain from my sleeve and sort of catch her around the ankle, which she'll obviously sort of fight her way out of. And then as she starts coming at me with these centipedes, I'll sort of use both ends of the chain to knock the centipedes off of her wrists and against the wall, and then sort of entangle her in the chains.
She says, "Do what you will. You've broken my heart. Coral Lantern will kill me when all of this is done."
I will give you your freedom. Do with it what you will. And while I may have misled you, I truly hope that my brother does harbor affection for you. I wish to save him from the path he is walking, and if I must destroy Coral Lantern in order to do so, I will gladly do it. But you will do as you will. All I ask is that you tell me, what can I do to save Nine Blossoms? That is all I care about now.
And you get to mark XP because you're showing mercy. And she goes, "Only Coral Lantern knows the antidote. You must get it from her." And you see her reach up to her neck, and you see she has those centipedes bite into her. And you see her collapse to the ground.
Yeah, I think he's going to sort of reach down and check that, check her pulse and sort of close her eyes and give a meaningful, sad look to the camera for a moment, and then jump out the window.
Perfect. Head out into the night, leaving the dead in your wake. Let's cut from that. Let's come over to you two sneaking around. You're making your way into the wedding then, or no? Where are you going, you two?
No, we are in an alley somewhere. No, seriously, okay, this cannot go forward like this. I have worked so long to try and protect you from some of the harsher realities of our life because I thought you understood what was happening, but you cannot just blindly accept fantasy. Iron-Faced Lou is of the 100 Ghosts. Passing Cloud is incompetently stupid and ruining the Yoon clan legacy. And Coral Lantern, the person that you called mother, deserves to die for what she did to our clan.
And she looks at her and goes, I absolutely agree with you about Coral Lantern. And she goes, but how is it that you've determined that Iron-Faced Lou is a member of the 100 Ghosts?
Because Tian understood that he knew that he was a member of them. Because the Devil Crone knows that he's a member of them. Because he recognized me when we were in...
Yeah, what did he say? What have you done? And then she goes, what have you done?
I've done what I needed to. I turned to the only people that have consistently been there for us in the fight against the people that would destroy us. Tian proved before the end what the 100 Ghosts really were. If I can't believe in a leader of our clan, perhaps the 100 Ghosts can usher us back into the light.
She sort of steps back and she goes, I've stood by you through all of this. And the thing that I always notice is that it's everyone else that you look to.
Who else
when
do I
you're in
have
trouble,
to look to?
Clearly not me.
Ouch.
Hey, who wants to roll interconflict?
Yeah.
Sure, I will.
I think both of you will.
Let's see here.
Nope, this is definitely speed and passion. This is talking way too much and way too fast.
Who wants to roll first?
I will. This is probably growth for me.
Okay.
Okay. So that's a 9.
So you can mark that chi.
Okay.
Or you can break away. But let's see what happens on the other side.
Yeah. Whichever works best.
That's an 8.
So you can mark chi or flee away. You can both head in different directions, split up, dividing your strengths. Or you can both mark chi. Sherry.
No.
Yeah. I think I grab him by the wrist and I go, would you for once notice that I've been standing by your side the entire time?
And do you mark chi then, Patrick?
I I think if she grabs me, then I will. I'll say I've spent so much of my life being an orphan, being separated, being alone. I'm sorry, I don't really understand what siblings are for, I guess.
And she just sort of looks at him and she goes, let's do this together. We'll work out your 100 ghosts situation. And then she looks at him and goes, is that why you're so cold?
It's okay. So there's this guy. His name is Ageless Sin. I think we just cut off there.
There.
But you two are then heading to the wedding, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I may bring some threads here together, but let's see how you want to do this, Zhang.
Zheng has no desire to bring shame to Sedate Rao. He does not want to endanger his sect any further by bringing them in. So he is going to face this alone.
You're going to bust into the bride's chambers?
No, I think he's going to try to lie his way in. He doesn't want her to be aware. He wants to see her. Maybe he wants to study her.
That seems fair. I think before you can study, I think we need an overcome action.
I think that makes sense. I think his lie is that he will have like a little scroll that he's just picked up, like he grabs it off of a table, or there's a tablet or something. He grabs that and it's something he can kind of hide. And he says, this is a message from Sedate Rao to the bride to be, and he asked me to hand deliver it, kind of deal. And that's how I'm trying to overcome.
Then let's have you overcome. What do you think that's with?
I was trying to not use fire, but he's trying to be creative here. Maybe he's using his presence. We'll go with earth.
Okay. Let's have you roll.
I rolled a 9 and I have a 0 in presence, so that is a mixed success.
So I think that you will get in to see her, but she has all of these handmaids in there with her, all of her servants with her.
Seems fair.
And she will come in and she will say, Zheng?
Wupan? Your betrothed had a message he asked me to bring to you. Perhaps I could speak with you alone?
She'll say, there is much to do, and I'm afraid I cannot. My handmaids and I have much work to do before the wedding tomorrow. You can understand.
Oh, no. There is nothing that these fine servants of yours could do to make you any more beautiful than you are now.
There's that awkward silence there where she knows you don't like her and you're in here.
I insist that we speak privately.
She goes, let's do hearts and minds, Rich.
All right. I will add in one little bit. Or are you afraid of me? Yeah, there we go. All right. Yeah, I think I'm pushing things. still keeping a little control, being calculated here. So I'm gonna roll with metal.
Okay.
Metal delicates. Here comes the fail. No, I rolled an 8 plus 2, a 10.
10. So she will gesture to dismiss her servants. So you see her speak to one of them, send them off.
Whip-Pan Shang, I know the threat you pose to someone I care about. And I am not speaking of sedate Rao. Your villainy is known. You are but a pawn in this. One that whatever shadowy master or mistress stands behind you is willing to throw you to the wolves. If you think that holding Nine Blossoms' life will keep you safe, you're wrong. I'm here to speak plainly with you and tell you, you have but one chance to make the right choice here. Release Nine Blossoms.
No. I'm going to cut from you over to a passing cloud. You've left Dancing Centipede in the inn. You've heard this horrible thing that it is Coral Lantern who has the secret. What do you want to do?
So yeah, I think in kind of a call back to the earlier scene, Passing Cloud is going to get dressed up in his very finest fancy garb and is going to head to the wedding. He's going to attempt to get in contact with Coral Lantern directly, not making any particular effort to conceal himself.
So, are you appearing as Passing Cloud then? Or is
Yep.
You're not invited to the wedding.
No. I think he is going to head to the Purity Sword sect and approach the gate. Sort of to the guard there. He is going to say, my name is Passing Cloud Yoon of the Yoon clan. Please inform Coral Lantern that I am here to see her.
And they move to stop you. So when you fight mooks, let's have you roll.
Oh, there, that's a 6.
Okay. On a miss, choose their numbers overwhelm you and you mark XP, or you win at a cost.
I think their numbers overwhelm me. I think that I'm deliberately, I have no wish to harm them. I am defending myself, but only in only in a purely defensive way. So once there are enough of them on me, I surrender to them. When it's obvious I can no longer stand without actually having to sort of strike at them.
Mark XP. Now I'm going to cut over to Lan and Ming. And Ming, you have an ability. Not Ming, I'm sorry, Lan, you have an ability that could get triggered here. And there are two people that you could trigger it on. So it seems like an opportunity for you to use All Men Are Brothers. My question is, do you want to use it? And if you do, where do you go? And I'm going to tell you that if you wish, you can take along Ming.
Sorry, I'm just considering carefully.
I know.
Well, I'm me, so I'm going to go with the most painful choice, which is, I think, showing up with Passing Cloud and leaving Zheng Wen by himself.
Ming, do you go with him?
No, I think there's that moment when it's clear what he's going to do, and she goes, "I trust you, but I have to see." And she kind of goes, "There's something going on at the wedding."
And you want to try and find
I
or Coral Lantern, or do you want to try and face Shang? And what do you want? What do you think there, Ming?
I think that like where they were started from was sort of a place up on the roofs overlooking the wedding.
Okay.
And she can kind of see like all of the maidens leaving from the bridal, quarters and stuff. And when he makes that suggestion, she kind of goes, "Something's happening down there."
So do you want to make your way in without being spotted?
Yes.
Okay. Whereas Lan is there, you're going to have to make an overcome to get in there.
Okay. I have imposter, so hopefully that will assist.
Okay. Who do you appear as?
Let's see here. Who do I appear as?
Bao, Coral Lantern, Sedate Rao.
Bao, I know so well. And yeah, and there's something about his features that I think I could do it fairly easily.
Let's have you roll overcome.
Okay. All right. Oh my goodness. Sorry. Okay, so that's an 8.
That is an 8. So I think your entrance is loud.
All right.
Why is it loud? How do you make a scene?
Well, I make sure to do the Magistrate Bao bumbling thing because he doesn't have his people.
Okay.
So essentially that without his escort, of course, he's completely confused, right?
Well, I'm going to come to you in just a sec. I'm going to do that scene. We're going to come in right on the end of that no. But Lon, you see Passing Cloud get beaten down by these Purity Sword Sect people, and they're probably not going to tie him up. They're probably, he's an interloper who's declared himself from the Yun clan, and they're probably going to finish him off.
And I think I'm going to combine Have Sword Will Travel and All Men Are Brothers.
Okay.
And I think like as these guards are beating down on Passing Cloud, like it goes from 12 to 10 of them, and then there are only 8 of them, and then it's less as one of the guards at the back starts grabbing them and taking them out and sort of bashing them into each other.
When you fight mooks.
Indeed. Let's see. I have metal clear at the moment.
That's a shock.
I know, right? It's been very in and out all session. So that's a 7.
That is a 7. So I think you're going to have to win, but it's not pretty. What is it at the end that makes your cool thing kind of break down?
I think it's that like the first mook that I had taken out and just sort of like kicked in the back of the knee and thrown to the ground and then moved on to the others because he's obviously taken out. He's gotten back up and I think he has like a chain probably. So he manages to catch me around the legs and just like face first down into the ground in front of Passing Cloud. But you know, I do manage to grab the chain and pull him in and get him too.
Passing Cloud, you're kind of pulling yourself up from the ground from this overwhelming, and kind of look, and you see some of them go down, and then there's Lon helping you.
Lon, you came for me. I'm sorry. I had hoped this would not devolve into violence, but thank you.
I came for Coral Lantern. I came to kill her.
There is something I need from her first. I had thought to trade my own life for it.
Well,
but
I suggest you be quick about it.
She holds Nine Blossoms' life in her hands, and I had hoped I might at least be able to save her if I can achieve nothing else.
And I think there's a flashback because Nine Blossoms was like Mystery Tiger, wasn't she? The one that was helping me in taking out the others.
No, Nine Blossoms had kind of had some back and forth with you. You thought that she was a villain, but she did show up in that final fight to help you fight Coral Lantern, and that's where she got injured the first time.
That's right.
Who showed up mysteriously was Iron Face Lou.
Oh, that's it. Okay. I knew she had made some reveal at some point. I was trying to remember where.
Right.
So yeah, I think there's a flashback to that previous confrontation with Coral Lantern and her getting injured, and Lon.
And you know Zhang loves her.
Yeah. But he'll look at Passing Cloud and say, "Very well. Perhaps she can do one small bit of good before the end."
There is one thing more, and he'll sort of reach in and pull out a scroll. Here, you should take this. All I ask is that you give my brother one last chance to repent.
Where did you find this?
The notes you had left. I found one of the shrines.
I knew there must be out there. I knew there must have been more. If we give Duskclosed Spider one more chance, one of us is going to die.
I am prepared to make that sacrifice if it is needed. Perhaps that will be enough to convince him of the error of his ways.
I'm going to cut from that to no. And then poof, as one of the doors comes open, Rich, and you see Magistrate Bao bumble in.
Oh, you again.
Bao. Take a drink. You're muted.
I say, yes, me again. And I stop and I go, what are we doing here?
Bao. This one has threatened me.
I know all of his gestures.
Arrest him.
Right. Right, young man. You're going to have to come with me.
Bao once again turns to you to arrest you there, Zhang.
I have my hands on the splinter, and there's a tense moment, but then he slides it back into his sash and he forces his hands to be restrained.
And you see Bao go, "Oh, no, not like that." And I kind of look at her, kind of give her the eye, see if she acknowledges it.
Yep.
And then I pull my blade, like this.
And she, her eyes narrow because that's
not
not
his
Bao's blade.
Exactly. And then I run it through her. There you go. So
here's the thing. When you fight someone on your scale,
yes.
Roll.
Okay. I am
only on your scale because of this surprise and the distraction here.
I really want to help. Can I throw in some kind of support this way?
Totally.
There's a moment where I see the mustache start to fall.
Let's have you roll comfort and support then, Rich.
Okay, cool. I am going to roll with awareness, wisdom, and flexibility. There we go. Wisdom. Okay. I figure out the nefarious plan just seconds before, enough so I can help. And I roll 4 plus 1, 5. Okay. I'm the worst supporter ever.
I'll come back to that move in a second.
Son of a gun.
So that gives me an 8.
Okay. You can. She's on your scale. So on a 7 to 9, choose one. Win at a cost. Narrate how you lose and mark XP. Or deadlock and learn something.
I think I'm going to go with a deadlock.
Okay.
And I'm going to say to her, because she's clearly tied to the frozen. What is her? She's called the frozen.
The Frost Queen?
Frost Queen, yeah. And I'll say, what does the Frost Queen have to do with this? Or have you fled from her? I want to understand how all of that fits together, because all of these women are Frost Queen trained.
And she will say, she kind of blocks that with those needles that she has, kind of holding it as you come in, kind of pushes it down, and she will say, your mother taught us. She learned from the Frost Queen herself. But she knew that the Frost Queen was immortal and she would never succeed. So she took her place back in her household.
So what you're telling me is you're a pale imitation of the style. And I'll draw my blade back.
And she will say, perhaps, but this pale imitation was smart enough to send her handmaid to kill 9 blossoms. And that's where we're ending tonight. And we're taking up next time with the big confrontation there, everybody. So that is where we're going to stop.
Okay.
That's my hard move.
That's so good.
You're the worst. As is only right and fitting.
All right. Passing Cloud. I think we hit both of your entanglements there.
I think so, yep.
That's 4 points then.
Cool.
Night Sky Ming, I think we hit both of your entanglements there. That's 4 points. Oh yes, Shard Saber. I think we hit both of your entanglements.
You bet your sweet bippy.
All right, 4 points. And Rich, I believe so for you.
Yay! I will have an advance to take as I go watch my true love die.
Thank you all very much. Next week we will do the last. We'll do the climax of this. All of the pieces are in place. All of the actors are on scene. It's the big showdown for everything. And I'll check in at the beginning. Make sure we'll check in, and because of course last session, I'll make sure if there's anything people want, we definitely can get that on the table. And we'll be good. Sound all right?
Yeah,
Sounds great.
Okay, I'm going to stop the broadcast.